So the weather right now is kind of cold. Not cold, it's kind of cool. It's only 17 degrees Celsius. And yeah, wow, Defender. Yep, so it's only 17 degrees Celsius, but it's still warm. That's already warm for if you are living here in Canada already and you're already used to like below 0 degrees Celsius. Traffic right now, the flow of traffic is not that heavy though. So today we will be going to Elderkin's farm. What we are going to do there is we are going to pick cherries because it's cherry season already, and then we're going to pick a couple of cherries there because we haven't experienced picking up cherries because last year there were no cherries because of the cold snap that happened last year. So that's what I said, and we weren't able to pick those. So Elderkins actually they just posted in Facebook that they're open for cherry picking already just this week. So we don't want to miss anything there. And the reason that we will go today there, which is on a Friday, we're not supposed to be going anywhere on a Friday because we just want to rest on Friday because we always have long runs, and I should wear my sunglasses, yeah, because we're supposed to have long runs or long bike rides every Saturday. It's just that tomorrow it is going to rain the whole day. That's why we will go to Elderkins today to pick the cherries. So it's an hour drive from home, but since I'll be picking up Kay, so our travel time is around an hour and a half, more or less, going to Elderkin. So that's our activity today. And during the summer days here in Nova Scotia, excuse me, you need to maximize your days to go out because you barely have around 3 months to enjoy. Well, estimate maybe 3 or 4 months to enjoy out, and then 2 months that is perfectly warm when you could wear your t-shirt, shorts, and wear your flip-flops. It's a bit of traffic, a lot of trucks. Oh, okay, there are a lot of vehicles trapped here. Okay, so there was a car that wasn't able to go through here in McKay Bridge. And by the way, here in Halifax or in Nova Scotia, we only have 2 bridges here that connects Dartmouth and Halifax. So if this bridge effed up, then you'll find yourself trapped in a traffic maybe around 30 minutes to an hour. Well, and 1 hour is just an exaggeration, but yeah, it depends on the incident though. So yeah, you need to maximize your time. You need to go out all the time whenever you can during the warm season, the warm days, warm months in Canada, specifically here in Nova Scotia. And also on September, maybe late August, it's hurricane season already. And you don't want those hurricanes. That's just one of the disadvantages once you're in the Atlantic region, because Nova Scotia, Canada, is located in the Atlantic Ocean. That's why we are called here the Atlantic region. So let's go to our topic. Booking an apartment or looking for an apartment before you go to Nova Scotia when you are still in Dubai or in the Middle East. So this would still apply today. I will just share what we did and what happened to us. So this wouldn't apply for everyone, just so you know, because it really depends on your circumstance, your situation. But on our side,
attention to the vehicle ahead.
What we did was, first we were looking at property rental sites in Nova Scotia, in Halifax. Like, we were really hardcore looking for it, and it was majority of it was done by Kay. She was looking for those accommodations, apartments, condos, anywhere, any place that we could live. So we contacted those property managers. We contacted those properties. It was so just unfortunate that
Vehicle ahead,
there
motion
are
detected.
no vacancies, and if there are, you need to book it right away. And then you need to book it right away. And then if you are going to book it right away, you need to be here. And then they will also ask for what do you call this? They would also ask for any credentials, or reference, and then credit history. So if you don't have any credit history and then you are new here, of course you can't get anything here. You can't get any apartments. You can't book. So that is one of the disadvantages there. And so I'm going to talk about disadvantages and how you can't book yet. So that one, and then you also need to have a reference, because the references here are very important for them. And then so what you can do is find, if you know anyone in Nova Scotia, ask help from them to find an apartment or any place for you to stay.
Vehicle ahead, motion detected.
Yeah, ask them, ask for help, because it is very important also for them to see the place, to see the actual place, and then they could even take pictures, and then they could even tell you if the area is good. If they could also tell you if the place is just near to your house, and then how far is it, how's the transportation, and if it's safe there. Although Canada generally it's safe, but of course nowadays you just need to be very careful. So yep, so that's what you could do. First is you need to find you need to know you need to have someone here. You need to know someone to look at a house for you or a place to stay. And then they would also and then ask them also if they're willing to give you the references. Second is you join these Facebook groups. So there are a couple of Facebook groups in Nova Scotia. It depends on the town, depends on the city, it depends on the municipality where you are going to stay. So since we are in Halifax, so there were two groups that we joined. One is Settle East Coast, Settle East Coast, and then the other one is Pinoy Tambayan in Nova Scotia. You could just ask there and post if someone in the area or someone in the place is renting out their properties or renting out a portion of their house, and then also if they know anyone who would be able to rent their place. So people in these groups are very proactive. They are very helpful. I'll give my credit on the people on the group, because they actually it was very surprising that people here in that group also were very helpful, because I was just expecting for the worst. I didn't expect for the best. That's why I find that very helpful. Yeah, so they would provide you any information as well, and then they will help you find a place. So what else? Just go to those groups. So that's another tip. And then what's the other tip? Okay, the other one is ask your employer if you have an employer already. So this is specifically for workers here. I don't know what's the strategy for students, but if you have an employer here already, ask help from your employer. I'm pretty sure that they're very helpful, of course, because why wouldn't they help you when they hired you to work here in Canada, specifically in Nova Scotia? They will really help you. So there are some employers that have accommodations with them, and just ask. There is no harm in asking. Always ask. And yep, so if you ask them, maybe they have anything or know anyone. So what's next? Yeah, so ask your employer. So on our side, what happened was we asked Kay's employer helped us actually. Miracle. Only a few cars. Yeah, so on our side, Kay's employer helped us. Actually, at first we refused her help. Maybe it's because of our pride, but then we ended up saying yes to her assistance. So she found the place. It's just like more or less 6 kilometers from that place, from that apartment to Case work. Although it's a bit far from the city, so from the city going to the apartment, it's around 24 kilometers, and there was no bus, there was no train. By the way, here in Nova Scotia, there's no train here, it's only buses. And then the routes, the routes of the buses is just very limited. So not all places have bus routes, so you need to get a car here. I'm just going to discuss with you later on, or I'll share a separate a video later on how you're going to purchase a car here, or maybe even rent, or just for a starter. Because what we did was it was kind of interesting strategy that we did. Although it's a bit expensive, but for us it's practical. So yep, so it's really far, but that was okay. So well, to make the long story short, we had the car, and then so it's just on the way. So from the apartment that we rented, it was just like 6 kilometers going to Case work, and then it was just on the way from the apartment going to the city where I am working as well. And then yep, so on that one, so what happened was it was an Airbnb. It's not an Airbnb, it's a bed and breakfast business owned by a couple. So they have a separate unit which is for long-term rentals. So we leased it for a year. So you have two options: you can lease it, or you can have a month-to-month. So it depends on your situation, but what I would recommend is you rent month-to-month, because if you decide you want to move somewhere, or if you don't like the place, at least you're safe on your side.
To the vehicle ahead.
So your contract is just month-to-month, and then you don't have to cut the lease or terminate the lease, and then you're on the safe side, and you won't have to pay any extras, and then go through it any other processes, because I just don't want to discuss about those processes anyway. Yep. So and then we leased it, but before that, so it's an Airbnb. It's not an Airbnb. It's a bed and breakfast, and then owned by a couple. They've been in the old age already. They've been in the business for more than 30 years. So so we got that place because of Case employer. So Case employer also gave a reference, and then we had to put a down payment. No, not down payment. I should say it's a, what do you call this? I should say a deposit. So we had to put a deposit. So since we were still in Dubai, there's no way that we could send the money right away. So again, it was Case employer who gave the who paid the deposit, and then we just reimbursed her upon our arrival. So the cost of our rental, that was so cheap. It was a one bedroom apartment. though it's not that big. The size was 450 square feet, 1 bedroom, but you had everything from kitchen utensils, oven, everything, fridge, everything was provided. So bed was already there, so it was just like a plug and play. All you had to do is just bring your stuff, and then you're good. Even the comforter, even the blanket, it was all provided. Chairs, everything. So just imagine, for $950 a month, that was all provided. And there was also a TV. Then there was a lazy boy chair or couch, good for two. So the apartment that we rented, that's only good for two because it was small. And then I wouldn't recommend a family there. So of course, Kay and I don't have any children. And then internet, that's all in. Water, it's all in. It's being paid for with the $950. Water, even electricity, it's already included in our rental. So you don't have to think of anything else anymore, because everything is provided already. So that was a good deal for us when we got that apartment. It was such a blessing. Good thing we took the assistance. We laid down our pride. Yeah. So that's how we got our apartment. We were there for one year plus before we bought our condo. A year after arriving here in Nova Scotia, Canada. So the place was so good because it has a water access. So if you have a boat, which we don't have, you could use your boat there because they have their own water access. Water access here, by the way, is expensive. Yeah, so that's our story on how we got our apartment. So that's what I've said. It's not applicable for everyone because it will really depend on your situation or circumstance, and also where you will be in Nova Scotia. So those are one of the tips that we can share with you on how to get or how to land an apartment here in Nova Scotia. What else? I think those are just the tips that we could share, because those are the ones that we experienced, and then what we saw also from other people here who came here during that time. So that's it. So guess there's nothing else I could share more. So if you find value in this, if you find value in this, if you find value in this video, just click like and subscribe. If you want to share it also with your friends and family who wants to move here in Nova Scotia, share the video with them. At least we could be of help.